Hey, you're watching Better Relationships with Nick, and I'm going to make you aware of the 4 temperaments today and how we can apply that into our relationships, okay? So, by understanding that there are 4 categories of temperaments that different people may operate within, which is going to be your DISC profile, D-I-S and C, or you're going to hear it as choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholy. Once you understand that this exists, you'll understand how to operate and to connect with people better, because certain people have certain emotional needs and traits that once you're aware of, you can see, oh, that person's a sanguine, let's have fun. Okay, so the sanguine needs to have fun. The goal of this video is just to make you aware of this concept. I'm not going to go super in depth, but I just want to touch base and let you know that it exists so that you can have better relationships. If you understand that your child is a sanguine, you'll be able to tailor your experience. If you're a salesperson, this was really important in our sales training as we went out and did different sales appointments and things, to understand which type of temperament we're dealing with and what their emotional needs are, so that we can serve them best. Okay, now in a relationship, whether it's parent-child, romantic relationship, boss coworker, friend relationships, whatever the relationship is, if you just are aware of this, it helps you have a little bit more empathy, because that person that you just don't understand and you're like, dude, why do they act that way? It's because they have a different temperament and they're operating in a temperament that is not your own. Not only that, but this also helps you understand who you are better. If you can kind of figure out what temperament you are in, you understand, you're right, I need to have fun. The relationship needs to be a little bit more fun. That's why I'm not enjoying it. Once we become aware of who we are and what our desires are and needs, we can then communicate that with somebody else. But we also have to understand that a lot of people are not aware of this information. That's why I'm educating you on it. You can pinpoint, I see it, that person's a phlegmatic. That person's a melancholy. I better act this way. This is what that person needs, okay? So I'm just going to briefly touch base on them so we can just become aware of what they are. And then you can go out in the world and apply this to have better relationships. So the sanguine is going to be your bubbly personality that wants to have fun. Now, if you want to read all about it, this is one of the books that are available for it. There's probably some other ones, but Wired That Way by Marita Littauer and Florence Littauer. This one was pretty good. This concept really was like, oh, wow, now I understand, okay? I understand why that person acts that way and what they need, okay? But the sanguine is going to be your bubbly, outgoing. Oftentimes, you're going to see this as a feminine character, but obviously men can operate within this. Their basic desire is to have fun. They need attention, affection, approval, and acceptance, okay? They control by charm. They're going to be charming, okay? So just when you see that person that's always trying to have fun and be bubbly and light up the room, probably a sanguine, they want to have fun, okay? If you're somebody who does not want to have fun, maybe you need to change and start having fun around them. If you want to have a connection with them, you need to realize that they want to have fun, and if you can make things a little bit more fun, that would really help you to connect with that person better, okay? Number 2 is choleric. Now, choleric is going to be the D on the DISC profile. Sanguine is I, if you need to look into that. Choleric is going to be that boisterous person that they're outgoing in a dominant way, meaning they want to control. So their desire, instead of having fun, is to have control. And oftentimes, deep down, it's because they don't feel understood. They do not feel understood. And what I've noticed is once you demonstrate that you understand them, they will be less controlling, okay? So in a sales appointment, or when I understand this person, they're going to be super dominant until you let them know, hey, look, here's the fucking deal. I know what the fuck's going on here too, okay? And they're going to be like, whoa, you know what? That's cool, dude. I will let you lead, okay? So they need to have control. But once you demonstrate that you are capable, and you're going to have to basically out power frame them oftentimes. Like, look, here's the deal, man. I totally understand that you get what you're talking about, but I'm running the show here. I'm going to be the one who directs this. Obviously, I am more equipped to handle this situation, so why don't you just let me handle this, okay? You need to be able to talk to them in that sort of way, where you are displaying that you are dominant, okay? But they need their emotional needs, and I fall into this category a lot. Loyalty, sense of control, appreciation, and credit for work. They control others by the threat of anger because of that, because of their outgoing and often boisterous, dominant personality. Anger is a way that they can demonstrate versus the sanguine will not be angry. They're going to charm you to get what they want, okay? So they're going to be in the outgoing personalities, and I'm going to just show you this real quick. You can take a screenshot or whatever just to see this. There's lead, analyze, work, and play, okay? So they kind of fall in. So they're, and the way I would describe this, they call this task-based. The choleric and the melancholy are task-based, and the sanguine and the phlegmatic are going to be people or relationship based. So task and relationship based, extroverted, introverted. That's going to be kind of the way that you can categorize them. That's the way this square works. But you can screenshot that and just read that if you'd like. Otherwise, you can get the book. I'll put it in the affiliate link. But the phlegmatic, my least favorite. Objectively, I do not relate to these people, and I hate their communication style, okay? This is the hardest for me to deal with because of who I am and the categories that I fall into. Their basic desire is to have peace, which is fine. I got no beef with that, okay? But in my experiences, they tend to communicate via non-communication, which pisses me off. Just tell me what's going on. Their emotional needs are peace and quiet, feeling of worth, lack of stress, and respect. And they control others by procrastination. So when I'm in a sale, I was like 19. I had my own business. And there was this guy, clear as day S, okay? He didn't have the balls to tell me, hey, dude, I just don't want to, I don't want to do business with you, whatever the reason was. I'm not ready. I don't have the money. I don't care what the reason is. I'm 19. You're like in your 30s, dude. And this dude is just avoiding me and keep like, he wouldn't just say like, hey, he'd be like, oh, hey, call me back in another, he'd be like, oh yeah, just call me back in like a week and we can talk about it. And he would just keep going like that and like procrastinating on just saying, hoping that I would just go away. When he's like, oh yeah, dude, why don't you just stop by next week and we can talk about it. I'm like, dude, just tell me that you don't want to fucking have me paint your house, okay? So that's why I hate that, because I viewed that person as too pussy to, as a man, too pussy to just say, look, dude, I don't want to do business with you. That really, I hate that. I understand females are going to be more like this. They're more indirect in their communication, so that would be more of a feminine trait, but that dude it pissed me off that he couldn't just like, hey dude, I don't want to do business with you. I'd be like, oh, that's fine, dude. I'd have no problem with that. It's not just, hey, come back, call me, keep dragging the process out. I hate that, okay? So procrastination, they're going to be very non-direct. They're going to be very indirect and passive, and they are very peaceful, and they just don't want to deal with anything, okay? Oftentimes, you could perceive them as lazy. They are not doers. They are like, they accept what is, okay? They accept what is, and just be aware that there are people like that. They just want to have peace. They don't want any conflict. They just want to exist and not have any conflict, okay? Now, the melancholy here, Bill Belichick is a good example of this. Their basic desire is to have perfection. They're an introvert. They're task-based. They are a great doer. An accountant would be a melancholy, most likely. A tax accountant, they love that analyzing data, or some, yeah, a data analyst would be more melancholy. Somebody who's if you think about Ben Johnson from the Chicago Bears, I would even consider him to be more melancholy because of, and even Mike McDaniels potentially, just because of the way they analyze and the way they create their offensive schemes. That will be something, and I'm talking about NFL if you don't watch NFL, that is going to be something that they are really good at. The analyzing and perfecting something that is thought out, okay? Coming up with the perfect plan. They're great planners, okay? But they are not going to be very social. They're going to be pretty cold. You'll see they almost have no, in a lot of cases, they almost have no personality. They are just logic. And that's how they come off. I've met someone like this, absolutely no personality. He just wanted to talk about analyzing things, and which was cool. I actually connected with him because I understood, but absolute no personality other than like, let's just think about this. You know, once you get them talking about some numbers, they're gonna open up, okay? But they need sensitivity, support, space, and silence is what they prefer. They do not want to have fun. They just want to look at the numbers and be quiet, okay? Controls by threat of moods. Instead of being angry, they're going to be more moody. Like, instead of procrastinate. So we have the choleric is going to be angry and in your face. The phlegmatic is going to just procrastinate, but the melancholy is going to actually display moods, like moods of disgust or something, to get you to act a certain, oh, I'm so disgusted that you are doing that. Something like that, where they're going to just display a mood and think that you're just going to change because of that mood. So, if you learned anything, put it in the comments. I just wanted to give you a base understanding and help you become aware of these things. You can check out this book. I'll put it in the affiliate link, Wired That Way. But there's a whole lot more in depth to this. I just wanted to kind of just touch base on it and let you know that this has been influential for helping me have better relationships. Just because I understand how these people operate and how I can serve them better and realize how to behave around them. Like the phlegmatic, because they want peace, you need to assure them that it is safe. Okay, so one of the words that we would actually use is, hey, we would specifically plant the word safe in our interactions. Like the safest way to do this is how I would say something. So yeah, honestly, the safest way to get this roof done, and that's just the verse of the choleric, we would say the fastest. Versus the melancholy, we would be, yeah, so if we want to do this right, if we want to do this and have all of our dots dotted, all our I's and all of our T's crossed, we are going to want to do the roof this way. And we want to like demonstrate to them that we're analyzing. And then the saying when you just want to have fun, hey, look, this is a roof, but it's going to be a fucking fun roof. You guys want pink? So that's just the way that I would describe that. So any questions, concerns, snotty remarks, put them in the comments. If you found this video to be interesting, share it with a friend, and potentially get this book. I may get a small commission if you buy the book off the Amazon affiliate link. Have a wonderful day, guys.